to be here. Hey folks, thanks very much for stopping by. It's great to get an opportunity to chat with you guys today. As Karen said, my name is David O'Pine. I'm not quite as unpronounceable as it might look there. The strange accent is, I hope you can all follow it. It's originally Irish, but it's been a little bit mangled after a decade living in the Netherlands and another decade living in the UK. So forgive me if there's a few foibles in there among the words. So I help Flexpod with Schneider Electric. Drives converged architecture efficiencies is a very key word here, and you'll find that throughout the coming slides. I've got about 15 minutes, I think, to speak to you guys, so I'll keep an eye on the clock very quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to start just to lay the land a little bit. Converged infrastructure. One of the challenges for us in Schneider Electric, where I'm sitting in the IT business of Schneider Electric, and we're focused around infrastructure, data center, infrastructure hardware, software, the glue that really binds the operations in the data center from an environmental, power and cooling point of view. So we know, or if you don't already, let me reiterate for you, the Flexpod value proposition. So by baking all of these components together, your organization doesn't have to go and figure out which bits work with which, what gives you the most efficiencies, how can I get 500 desktops, virtual desktops into my contact center in a quick and efficient way. A lot of that work is done for you already. So you've got the switching, the compute and the storage baked in, and a virtual environment, and you're ready to go, right? Well, actually, not quite. There's a missing piece. And if you consider this, significant investment that you've just made, you're going to want to make sure that investment is protected, it's being used in the most efficient way, it's in the right environment. You want to make sure it's in an integrated life support system, which will allow you to maximize the efficiency that this system is designed for, but that can be eroded by putting it in the wrong kind of rack, in the wrong kind of space, with the wrong kind of cooling, the wrong kind of power, and make sure you protect that investment. And maybe an analogy I might cheekily draw, it might be, imagine like it's a child, right? Imagine like this is a baby. You're going to want to make sure that it's getting the right feeding, that it's getting the right, that it's in the right environment, that it's protected, that it's being monitored, maybe even monitored in such a way that you can share with other parents, right? So there's all of this life support infrastructure that fits around the IT platform. That's missing from the solution. That is really important to nail down in such a way that when you go to buy something like a Flexpod or invest in the Flexpod Express, these things have also been thought about. Someone's also taken that infrastructure and worked out exactly what's the right level of UPS, what's the right power distribution unit that goes with this. If it's going in an SME or a remote site, does it have the ability to be monitored from a remote location, things like that. And that's what we've done. We basically got together with Cisco and NetApp, or key partners for ourselves, and we've worked on that solution together, designed that, and that's what we're bringing to you here today. So the fruit of the last couple of years' efforts together with our partners at Cisco and NetApp. So what does that look like in specifics? That's kind of a general overview, right? So let's take the Flexpod for data center to start with, and this might be a typical compute stack. So first of all, if you're going to put Flexpod in your data center, you're going to want to know that your data center is ready for it, right? Do I need to make modifications? Is my power right? Will the cooling handle this highly dense compute stack? So the first thing we want to do is we're going to go in and we're going to evaluate the data center as it is today with a view to a Flexpod coming in. So what impact is it going to have? What changes do we need to make? And we can make that kind of recommendation for you. Then what we're going to do is make sure you've got the right kind of power in place. We're going to make sure that the right PDUs are chosen to go with the solution. So we're putting bills of materials together now around the Flexpod compute stack with the right number of sockets, with the right kind of power outlets, with energy-wise from Cisco protocol baked in there, so that this hardware is going to integrate and talk to the Cisco software and the NetApp stack and the management piece in a key way. We want to make sure it's in the right rack that's often overlooked, with the right rack with the right amount of space for cabling, management, airflow is in there. That's all pre-chosen for you, and really importantly, I think, for a lot of organizations that often gets left behind, is making sure the right level of environmental awareness and security is in place, because that's absolutely key when it comes to compliance and availability to absolute keywords for a larger organization in this particular case, right? And then what's really important too is not just the hardware, as I mentioned, I alluded to when I talked about the energy-wise, is that we've also got individual device level management, the ability to go in and see what your battery in a UPS is doing, go in and control a PDU by socket to be able to turn off and on a piece of hardware that's installed now and you don't have to take a trip to site to be able to do that, but also to be able to do it in an aggregated way too. So if you're managing a site with all of this equipment in there, you don't have to keep going into each individual piece of the infrastructure. You've got for example, a DCIM software to aggregate all of that. And then that's not all, of course, that's important that you have it, but then what you don't want to be doing is having to step outside of the management layer into the infrastructure there to manage that. You want to be able to do that through, for example, a UCS manager. So that's really important. We've got that UCS integration, Microsoft System Center integration, even VMware too, that's not mentioned up there, but that's included as well. So we've baked all of those pieces into the stack together because we know that it can be difficult to find the right pieces, the bits that fit together. So what we've done is we've kind of taken an all bells, all whistles, high availability, high compliance approach, put that in the hands of our distribution partners and our reseller partners so that they can enable our end user customers like yourselves to then pick and choose the bits that they need. So hopefully it's already exactly what you want, but even if it isn't, there's still the ability to modify. And of course it's much easier to subtract pieces and take them away than it is to find what's the right piece to add. So we've gone all in, let's say. So let's say now we've got, we've put that whole solution together and we've delivered a highly integrated platform and infrastructure together as one. We haven't stopped there. We've gone quite a bit further. What we've done is we've taken that down to the next level. You've got a compute stack, but you've also got a storage stack that has a different set of requirements. So another bill of materials. So again, a simple solution, taking all of the pain and complexity out of it for the end user, even for the partner too, and delivering that. And going to the next level, of course, which Schneider Electric will be probably renowned to a few of you for, is our expertise in power and cooling. So we don't stop at the rack level, we take it right to the row and into the room. So making sure the right level of cooling is in place. So when you put that Flexpod in there, it's going to work in a highly efficient manner in an environment that's tailor-made for it. You know, you can rely on it. So that's Flexpod for data center. Another really interesting piece of the Flexpod story that's been evolving over the last just few years is Flexpod Express. Now Flexpod Express is targeted more at the edge of the network, right? So Flexpod Express is ready for fog. You've all heard of fog now at this stage. So you've got cloud, which is way up and remote, and all our data from the edge of the network is flowing to cloud, but the bandwidth is struggling now with the density of it. My fridge is talking to cloud, the traffic lights are talking to cloud, and bandwidth's becoming a problem. So now fog around the edge of the network is intelligent infrastructures that only reach out to the cloud when they need to, right? And for that to work, you need smart architectures out at the edge of the network, and Flexpod Express can absolutely be that. So what we've done is we've taken Flexpod Express now, we've made it really highly deployable. I mean, to the plug and play point of view, we've built an infrastructure life support system around Flexpod Express that includes the power backup, includes the environmental monitoring, the security, the data center infrastructure management, power distribution, intelligence, baked all that into a solution that also has a very interesting element to it that's highly unique. It's in an enclosure which looks like a piece of office furniture, sits in the open office environment, is self-contained, power distribution built in, all of those pieces included, but it's also soundproof and air-cooled. And that means now that you're no longer tied to the dedicated white space. That's a key part of this message. We're liberating that platform from the server room and the wiring closet, which have their own difficulties, which any organization will tell you. Footprint that is dedicated to IT is preventing a bum being put on a seat to deliver whatever the core competency of that organization is, right? It's a meeting room that can't be met in. It's a classroom that can't be used. It's it's an additional 2 or 3 people in a contact center that could be generating revenue for the organization. So if you can free up that white space and deliver a highly plug-and-play solution like this, which, to be honest too, I think if this is built at one of our distribution partners like Avnet, for example, who we're here with today and have helped us put this solution together, and we're showing it on the NetApp booth across the way here, which I encourage everybody after this quick talk to go and have a look and explore, because it is, you come to these things hoping to take up a few tidbits, something you haven't seen before. Let me assure you that's going to knock your socks off when you go over there and have a look at it in the flesh. So that's really the key component here. We're delivering a highly plug and play, all of the pieces being baked in together, and enabling an organization to design and build a solution once and then deploy it multiple times, 10, 20, 200, 400 times, whatever it is. You can imagine this sitting in a retail outlet, in a bank branch, in an SME, wherever it might be. There's an intense number of applications for this potential. So what we've done is we've put a number of solutions together, several flavors as we call them. Solution for SME, which is very cost sensitive. There's immediate return on investment in solutions like this, by the way. I give you some great examples of customers around the world using solutions like this, who will tell you that as soon as they deploy something like this into a bank branch location, they're immediately saving anywhere north of $10,000 because they haven't had to build that dedicated white space. Instant return on investment. So several flavors, as I said, small to medium enterprise. You've got an enterprise, so remote office, branch office. Two versions of that, so both using the Flexpod Express medium. One allows a little bit more scalability for the future too. But we also want to just point out then in the last minute or two is that the general wins that you have from a solution like this, so I think you can probably see the time savings straight away, right? You're not having to deal with all of the complexity that comes with putting a stack like this together, but it also, of course, is deploying into an environment in literally an hour. It can be up and running. The energy saving might not be immediately apparent, but in the data center piece, if you're using efficient cooling, if you're making sure that the power is being distributed in a sensible way, if you're integrating your virtual environment management with your power intelligence, you're making smart decisions about where your environment is actually physically sitting and where the peaks in power demand are. That's a much more efficient way of driving down the need for cooling in that particular premises. The resources, so you don't have IT people on site, it's going to help you there. And you probably see very straightforward, reduced space because it's no bigger essentially than the IT equipment itself. We've taken the complexity out of this decision making for you, baked a lot of that into the solution ourselves, and then it's a lot more cost effective for the organization to do something like that too. So what you have then is the ability to deploy your Flexpod for data center in a highly efficient and effective manner, and again then also the edge of the network, so these two could be working together. They might not necessarily be just a data center solution to you or just a solution for you if you're dealing with branch office. You can actually build a network around Flexpod which serves your needs both in the core and out at the edge. So just then to wrap up, sorry for speaking at 100 miles an hour, but we're under a little bit of time pressure. So we're talking flexible solutions, expandable architectures with a Schneider expertise baked in. There's more value in the stack for the end user. There's peace of mind knowing that the pieces are going to work together and they're going to deliver a great amount of efficiency for you. And essentially it's out of the box into the data center or into the office. So what we have is a genuine, truly now, end-to-end, complete in the picture, highly efficient, greatly simplified, fully integrated solution. So I urge you guys, take 5 minutes, take a stroll over to the NetApp stand after the talk. I'm going to be over there.